Ladies and gentlemen, there are moments in life that feel divine, moments when the heavens seem to pause and the earth itself starts to change. That moment isn't some distant point in the future. It's not something we're waiting for to come tomorrow. That moment is happening right now in this very instant, and you, yes you, are standing right at the brink of it. You are not merely passing through time. Time is unfolding through you, chosen one. You might not fully realize what's about to unfold, but trust me when I say this, after this moment, everything will change. You were never meant to just fit in. You were never brought into existence to simply survive, to pay bills, breathe, and eventually fade away. Your life is not a coincidence, and your existence is not just a random series of events. Long before your mother met your father, long before time ever began, there was a thought in the infinite mind of God, and that thought was you. Not just you as a name, not just you as a face, but you as a mission, a purpose, a solution, wrapped in human skin. The chosen ones are never sent into the world just to survive. They are sent to have dominion. Dominion is not about arrogance. It's not about pride. It's divine permission, divine empowerment. It's the ability, both spiritually and practically, to influence, lead, and change the very environment around you. You are not made to be a slave to this world's systems, be it emotional, cultural, relational. No, you are created to be a citizen of the kingdom of God. Someone who walks with authority, speaks with weight, moves with confidence, and lives with purpose. But the reality is, most people spend their lives trying to merely survive when they were meant to rule. The enemy doesn't target you because of your past. He comes after you because of your potential. If all you were meant to do was exist and survive, he wouldn't bother. But because your life poses a threat to the systems of this world, because your voice disrupts darkness, because the very presence you carry shifts the atmosphere, you become a target. Dominion isn't about titles. It's not about a position you claim on social media or in the church. Dominion is an identity. It is when your inner being aligns with the truth of who you are in God's eyes. It's when you awaken to the reality that the power within you is not your own. It's a divine deposit placed there by God for the purpose of transforming the earth. Look back at the Genesis account. When God created man, he gave him breath, but he also gave him dominion. That was his original intent, to be fruitful, multiply, replenish, subdue, and have dominion. It wasn't a suggestion, it was a command. God wasn't just trying to populate the earth with people, he was establishing his kingdom through his sons and daughters. Dominion isn't about ruling over other people, it's about ruling over the things that seek to dominate you. Fear, poverty, shame, depression, addiction, these are not your masters. They have been defeated, and they tremble at the thought of you remembering who you are. But you cannot walk in dominion without knowing your identity. If you don't know who you are, you will accept anything. You will tolerate abuse. You will chase after approval. You will base your worth on external validation, on likes, followers, and applause. But dominion starts when you realize, I am not what others say about me. I am not my mistakes, my trauma, or my past. I am who God says I am. And once you know that truth, the world can no longer define you. Culture can no longer shape you. People can't manipulate you. Your past, the fear of man will fall off because your identity is no longer grounded in what others think. It's rooted in God's truth about you. You were chosen for more than comfort. You were chosen for confrontation. Dominion means you will face challenges that others run from. You will step into spaces where strongholds have stood for generations, and you will tear them down, not with force, but with truth. Dominion begins in your mind before it manifests in your hands. Before God crowns you, He reveals His plan to you. He renews your mind before He elevates you. The real battle is not in the physical realm, it's in the mind. If the enemy can convince you that you're just ordinary, he has already neutralized your power. Chosen one, you weren't put on this earth just to survive another day. You are here to shift the atmosphere, to change things, to break cycles of generational curses, and to declare that light has come. When you enter places that have long been dominated by darkness, that's why the battle is so intense. That's why things may seem out of control. The enemy knows that once you awaken to your true identity, nothing in your life will ever be the same. Every lie-based system will start to crumble when you speak the truth. Every limitation placed on you will begin to crack when you push beyond them. Every ceiling above you will break when you start to stretch and grow. Dominion isn't a one-time decision, it's a lifestyle. Every single day you have to make a choice. Will I live beneath a level that heaven has called me to, or will I rise to it? Will I let fear pull me back into the shadows, or will I boldly step into the light of who I am meant to be? Dominion demands discipline, it demands vision, it requires intimacy with the one who chose you, because you cannot walk in authority if you are disconnected from the source of that authority. You were chosen to lead, to build, to restore, to heal, and to reign, not because you're better than others, but because you've been assigned a specific purpose. The chosen ones are not always the most talented, but they are the most surrendered. Dominion doesn't come to the proud or self-sufficient. It belongs to those who have emptied themselves before God and said, "Not my will, but yours." When you surrender your survival mentality, God empowers you, and that's when real change begins. So, as you move forward in this season, stop expecting to just survive. Stop bracing for loss. Stop tiptoeing through life hoping not to be noticed. Stand tall, lift your head, plant your feet firmly on the ground. You were chosen for dominion. Speak with authority, move with purpose, lead with humility, love with strength. And when people ask, "Who do you think you are?" you can confidently answer, "I am exactly who God called me to be." The chosen ones never apologize for their calling. They walk boldly in it, and the earth is waiting for you to step into it. Delay is one of the most misunderstood tools in God's hand. To our natural minds, delay can feel like rejection, like abandonment, or even denial. When prayers seem unanswered, doors stay closed, and dreams seem to stall, we might question, did I miss God? Did I disqualify myself? But what if I told you that delay is not a sign that God has forgotten about you? It's a sign that He is working on something much deeper than you expected. Chosen one, your destiny is too significant to be rushed. Your calling is too precious to be microwaved. The oil you carry cannot be poured out cheaply. It must be crushed, it must be purified, it must be tested. Many desire platforms without preparation, fame without maturity, impact without process. But God is not in the business of creating spiritual celebrities. He is in the business of raising sons and daughters who can carry glory without being consumed by it. For this kind of vessel, time is not wasted. It's used as a tool to develop and strengthen. You're not waiting because you've been forgotten. You're waiting because God is building something eternal inside of you. Heaven doesn't measure time the way we do on earth. While we count days, God counts growth. While we track minutes, God watches your depth. What might appear to be a delay to you is actually divine incubation, like a seed buried in the ground, hidden, quiet, yet growing. God is working beneath the surface. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean nothing is happening. God often does his deepest work in the dark. The delay is where your identity is refined, it's where your motives are purified, it's where your faith is tested. In the waiting, you learn to obey when it's not glamorous. You learn to pray when no one is watching. You learn to stay faithful when others seem to be moving forward. And while you're waiting, heaven is watching how you respond. It's not about how you perform when the lights are on, but how you posture yourself in the waiting. The delay will either make you bitter or better. It will either harden your heart or humble your spirit. How you handle the delay will determine how you manage your destiny when it arrives. Development cannot be skipped. It's not a punishment, it's protection. Imagine giving a 5-year-old the keys to a Ferrari. No matter how much the car belongs to them, if they are not mature enough, it will destroy them. The same is true in the spiritual realm. Many long for the promise but are not yet ready for the pressure that comes with it. Dominion requires discipline. Favor attracts enemies. Influence brings added responsibility. So, in his mercy, God allows time to slow down. Not to frustrate you, but to fortify you. Consider David. He was anointed king, but still sent back to the sheepfold. He was promised the throne, but hunted by Saul. He was called by God, but spent his time hiding in caves. But what was God doing in those delays? He was building a warrior. He was training a leader. He was cultivating a worshiper. If David had rushed to the throne, he would not have been prepared for it. But by the time he sat on the throne, he wasn't just anointed, he was ready. The same is happening to you. God is shaping you in the silence, training you in the secret place. Though it may seem like nothing is happening, everything is being prepared for you. The delay is growing roots deep within you. Before God raises you up, he deepens your foundation. The stronger the roots, the higher the fruit. If he allowed you to rise too quickly, the winds of life would knock you down. So he buries you, only to raise you up at the perfect time. Don't curse the delay. Don't despise it. Don't waste it. Lean into it. Learn from it. Let it strip away everything that cannot go with you into your destiny. Let it humble your spirit. Let it quiet your heart so you can hear his voice more clearly. The delay is a sacred space. It's where God purifies you without destroying you. It's where he softens your heart and reshapes you. And it's where trust becomes real, not because you understand everything, but because you surrender. Every great man or woman of God has gone through a delay. Every chosen vessel has had a season of silence where heaven seemed silent and the earth seemed chaotic. But those who endure the delay with faith are the ones who carry weight in the next season. Because what you gain in the waiting is not just character, it's authority. Authority that can't be faked. Authority that can't be bought. Authority that comes from intimacy, suffering, and obedience. And once God gives you that kind of authority, no man can take it away. So if you're in a season of delay, don't give up. Don't abandon the process. Don't compare your journey to others. The loudest voice isn't always the deepest. The fastest runner isn't always the strongest. The most visible person isn't always the most impactful. Some trees grow slowly, but their roots make them unshakable. God is building that in you. He's not just trying to get something to you. He's building something that can't be broken, something that can't be corrupted, something that will last. You're not behind. You're not late. You are exactly where you need to be. The hands that are holding you are eternal, and when the time is right, when the refining is finished, when you are ready to carry the weight of glory, the delay will break, the door will open, and you will step into your destiny, not just with excitement, but with authority, not just with opportunity, but with fire. So lift your head, chosen one. You haven't missed it. You are being made ready. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Gold is refined through fire. And a vessel of honor must undergo the refining furnace of process. This isn't abandonment, it's preparation. When God gives you a promise, He isn't just announcing your future. He's scheduling your transformation. He's declaring who you're going to become, not just what you're going to do to handle what He has planned for you. He leads you through seasons that shape your character, strengthen your spirit, and remove anything that could hinder your purpose. The wilderness is not the opposite of the promise, it's the bridge to it. You cannot skip the process and expect to carry the promise in its full power. Look at the examples in Scripture. Every person who carried something great went through something difficult. Joseph had a dream, but before reaching the palace, he went through the pit and the prison. Moses was called to free a nation, but before the Red Sea, he spent 40 years in exile in the wilderness. David was anointed as king, but before sitting on the throne, he spent years running for his life, hiding in caves, and battling discouragement. Even Jesus, the Son of God, had to go through the wilderness after his baptism, facing the enemy head-on, before stepping into the fullness of his ministry. Why? Because the process prepares you. Not ready with talent, not ready with popularity, not ready with visibility. Book a God-lean decree. There's a version of you that matches the weight of the promise, and then there's the current version of you that must be shaped to fit that image. God loves you too much to give you the blessing before you are ready to carry it. He cares more about your growth than your arrival. He is more committed to your development than your speed. What you think is delay or resistance is actually refining. During the process, God will strip away things that are not eternal. He will address your pride. He will confront your insecurities. He will reveal hidden motives. The process isn't just about getting somewhere. It's about what must die along the way. Ego must die. People-pleasing must die. Impatience must die. Carnal ambition must die. Because if these things remain, they will corrupt the promise when it arrives. You must be emptied to carry glory, and this emptying happens through the process. God doesn't test you because He doesn't trust you. He tests you to reveal you to yourself. There are parts of your heart you won't see until the process brings them to light. There are strengths you didn't know you had and weaknesses you thought were gone. The process reveals them. It's not the enemy trying to destroy you. It's God preparing you. What you learn in private, you'll carry in public. What you conquer in secret, you'll rule over in the open. This is the unseen work that builds lasting fruit. When you're in the midst of the process, it's easy to feel forgotten. You see others being elevated, platforms growing, opportunities increasing, while you're still waiting, still being shaped, still in the cave. But let me remind you, the longer the process, the greater the promise. The deeper the cutting, the higher the calling. God is not ignoring you, He is investing in you. He is writing a story that won't burn out after a fleeting moment of fame. He is crafting a legacy, not just a moment. Your pain has purpose. The fire is molding you. The trials are teaching you. The crushing isn't to destroy you. It's to extract the oil. Oil that cannot be imitated. Oil that cannot be bought. Oil that comes from intimacy, suffering, and surrender. That's why you feel what you feel. That's why the battle seems harder for you, because what you carry isn't average. What you're called to do can't be achieved with shallow roots or surface-level faith. During the process, God isn't just changing your situation. He is shaping you into the kind of person who can carry the weight of His promise with humility and strength. He's building endurance, patience, and wisdom. He's removing the desire for applause and replacing it with a hunger for obedience. He's detaching you from the need to be seen and anchoring you in the secret place. The process strips away the illusion that it's about you and centers you in the reality that it's always been about Him. And that's where true power is found, not in arriving, but in becoming. The process teaches you to hear God's voice above the noise. It teaches you to trust His silence more than people's opinions, to walk by faith, not by sight, to move when there's no map. It teaches you how to suffer well, wait patiently, serve faithfully, and give sacrificially. These aren't just lessons, they are qualifications. Every moment you think is wasted is actually being woven into your future. You don't have to chase the promise. If you yield to the process, the promise will find you. When God knows you're ready, He'll open doors no man can close. He will elevate you in such a way that no one can take credit for it but Him. The process isn't a detour. It's the very road to destiny. Every tear, every delay, every trial, every test, it's all evidence. Evidence that what He promised is real. Evidence that your calling is authentic. The process is painful, but it's prophetic. It proves the promise is alive. And if God started it, He will finish it. One of the most misunderstood seasons in the life of the chosen is when everything seems to turn against them. It feels like every door that should open slams shut. Every connection you thought was divine starts to feel distant. Every plan unravels. The very people you thought would celebrate you begin to criticize you. If you're not discerning, you might mistake what is actually divine orchestration for demonic opposition. But what if I told you that sometimes God allows the opposition on purpose? What if I told you that the pressure, the resistance, and the tension are all tools in the hands of a sovereign God? When God has marked you, He doesn't always move you forward by smooth paths. Sometimes He moves you forward by closed doors, betrayal, rejection, and redirection. And if they didn't go there, divine orchestration rarely feels divine when you're in the middle of it. It often feels like chaos, but it's strategy. It feels like delay, but it's design. It feels like you're under attack, but you're actually under alignment. God is arranging things behind the scenes in ways you can't yet see. He's putting the right pressure in the right places so that what needs to fall off falls and what needs to remain stays. The reason the opposition feels personal is because God is dealing with your attachments. He's testing what you're leaning on. He's proving what you truly trust. He'll allow certain things to turn against you, not to break you, but to rebuild you differently. He'll allow the storm, not to destroy the ship, but to reveal what it's made of. Sometimes it's only when people walk away, when platforms collapse, and when finances dry up, that you finally realize the one who called you is still with you. It wasn't the applause that kept you. It wasn't the money. It wasn't the position. It was the calling, and the calling remains even in the chaos. God is a master orchestrator. He uses what the enemy meant for evil and folds it into His purpose. Just because something was sent by hell doesn't mean it can't be used by heaven. When Joseph's brothers betrayed him, it was evil, but it was used. God was orchestrating a route to the palace through betrayal, false accusations, and isolation. Joseph didn't need everyone to like him. He just needed God to place him where favor could find him. And favor doesn't require fair treatment. It requires divine alignment. What you're fighting against may be the very thing pushing you into your assignment. Some of your greatest anointings will be born out of rejection. Some of your greatest strength will come from your deepest breaking. You're looking for ease, but God is using the storm. He's using the critics. He's using the closed doors. If the door had stayed open, you'd have stayed in the wrong room. If that person had stayed in your life, they would have poisoned your next season. If comfort hadn't been removed, you'd never have discovered your real source. The thing about divine orchestration is that it often makes no sense until much later. In real time, it feels random, it feels disjointed, but when you look back, you realize that what seemed like a detour was actually destiny. The attack prepared your spirit. The rejection clarified your vision. The confusion brought you to your knees. And in those hidden places, when all you had left was worship, when all you could do was cry out, when all your strategies failed, you learned the voice of the shepherd. You learned to walk not by sight, but by his whisper. Opposition is often the stage where God showcases his power. He'll let the odds stack against you. He'll allow the environment to become so unfavorable that when the breakthrough comes, no one can take credit for it. Not you, not them, not the system, only him. He orchestrates impossible odds so that the outcome brings him glory. Just like he did with Gideon, reducing an army of thousands down to 300 so the victory couldn't be attributed to men. Just like he did with Lazarus, waiting 4 days so the miracle defied the natural timeline. Just like he did with Jesus, allowing death before resurrection. You're praying for open doors, but God is building an unshakable foundation. You're asking for promotion, but God is securing your identity. You want quick elevation, but he wants long-lasting fruit. And so he uses opposition as part of the process. He lets some battles linger. He allows some voices to rise up against you. He even lets the enemy think he's winning. Because what the enemy doesn't know is that he's been included in the orchestration. He's unknowingly pushing you into your prophetic position. He's unknowingly driving you deeper into purpose. Just like Pharaoh hardened his heart and chased Israel into the sea, not realizing he was walking into God's trap, the orchestration included even the enemy. That's why you must stop panicking when it gets harder. Stop questioning every closed door. Stop doubting every season of warfare. If God allowed it, then it must be part of the movement. And if it's part of the movement, it will work together for good. Not everything is good, but it will be used for good. The loss, the delay, the betrayal, the silence, the hiddenness, the embarrassment, the wilderness, it will all be woven together like notes in a symphony. On their own, they sound chaotic. But when the conductor lifts his hands, they begin to make a sound that shakes the earth. You've been asking God to make it easier, but sometimes the orchestration of heaven requires you to walk through the fire. Not because it will consume you, but because it will refine you. You're walking through what others wouldn't survive, and that alone is evidence that you are chosen. Others would have quit, others would have compromised, others would have given up, but you're still standing, not because you're strong, but because grace has held you. And if grace is holding you, then glory is coming. So the next time you face resistance, the next time the plan falls apart, the next time you feel like everything is against you, remember that what looks like opposition may actually be divine orchestration. You may not understand it now, but trust the composer. He's turning every broken note into a beautiful melody. And when the time is right, the curtain will rise, and the world will witness the masterpiece he's been forming in the shadows. One of the most humbling and challenging revelations you can receive as the chosen is the understanding that God isn't waiting for the world to be ready for you. He's waiting for you to be ready for the world. Often we think that God's timing is the only thing holding us back. We believe that God hasn't opened the door yet, or that his promises are on some far-off horizon, waiting for the right moment to unfold. But what if I told you that God's readiness isn't the issue? What if the delay isn't because he isn't ready to move, but because you're still being prepared to move. When God has a calling on your life, He doesn't put your destiny on hold. He doesn't pause you while He works out everything else. God doesn't need to sort out the world's systems to fulfill His purposes for you. He needs you to align with His will and timing. The call has already been placed upon you. The anointing is already inside you. The purpose for your life has already been declared. But what needs to change is your willingness to step into it, your willingness to obey, to go even when the path seems unclear. Too often, we think we are simply waiting for the right opportunity, the right moment, or the right condition. But God is waiting for you to take your place. He is waiting for you to act on the word He has given you. He is waiting for you to step out in faith. The reason you haven't seen the promises come to life yet is that you haven't yet embraced the responsibility that comes with them. You haven't yet taken ownership of your future. You haven't said yes to what God has called you to do. The truth is that God has already provided everything you need. The provision is ready. The support is available. The doors are open. But you have to step through them. You need to believe that what God has spoken over your life is true and that it's time to act. If you are waiting for a sign, the sign is this: you are already equipped for the task. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You don't need to wait for everything to fall into place perfectly. You need to trust that God has already prepared the way for you. The waiting is not for God. It's for you to step into your assignment. Think about it. God's promise is not something He gives to you and then sits back, waiting for everything to align. God works in the present. He moves when we move. He speaks and we obey. He calls and we respond. The question isn't whether God will move on your behalf. It's whether you're willing to move in faith. It's not about whether God can open doors. It's whether you are willing to walk through them. We often wait for the perfect moment, for the right conditions, for everything to be aligned. But faith doesn't wait for perfect circumstances. Faith moves in the middle of uncertainty and unfamiliarity. Remember when the Israelites were promised the land of promise. It was theirs. God had already given it to them. But the moment came when they had to step out in faith. They had to cross the Jordan River. They had to face giants. They had to step into the unknown. And they hesitated. Why? Because they were waiting for the conditions to be perfect. They were waiting for the giants to leave. But God's command was clear. Go. Don't wait for the giants to leave. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. Step in now, and I will give you victory. God is waiting for you to take that first step of faith. He won't move your feet for you. You must move your feet. You have to step into the unknown even when it's uncomfortable, even when it doesn't look like the right moment, because that is when God shows up. That is when His favor finds you. That is when His provision is unlocked. The moment you move in faith is the moment that God moves on your behalf. We also have to realize that God's timing is different from ours. We think in terms of hours, days, weeks, and months. We think according to a calendar. But God operates outside of time. He is not bound by time. He is eternal, and He works according to His divine purpose, not our schedules. Sometimes God will take us through seasons of waiting to build something in us. Other times He'll speed up the process to reveal His power. The key is this: He is always working and He is always ready. He is never caught off guard. He is never unprepared. The moment you step into alignment with His plan, His timing becomes yours. The waiting period ends, and you step into the fulfillment of His promise. The key is obedience. The key is willingness. The key is readiness. You are not waiting for God to move. you are waiting for yourself to move in alignment with His will. The moment you step into the purpose He has designed for you, the moment you align your heart and actions with His will, you will see doors open, provision pour in, and opportunities arise. God is not waiting for the world's conditions to change. He is waiting for your heart to change. He is waiting for you to embrace your assignment. He is waiting for you to take the first step. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to be willing to move. You have to be willing to take the first step, even when you can't see the whole staircase. God is a God of progress, not perfection. The moment you move in obedience, the moment you step into your calling, everything will begin to shift. You will find that everything you need to fulfill your purpose was already within you, waiting for you to activate it. So stop waiting on God to do something new. He has already spoken over your life. The promises are already written. The doors are already open. Now it's time for you to step out, take action, and trust that as you move, God will move with you. You are not waiting on God. He is waiting on you to step into what He has already prepared for you. The only thing standing between you and the fulfillment of your purpose is your willingness to step out in faith. And when you do, you will see the hand of God move like never before. One of the greatest truths that a chosen one must grasp is that the glory set before you is always greater than the battle you're facing today. Too often we get so caught up in the difficulty of the moment, the intensity of the struggle, that we forget the future unfolding just beyond our reach. We focus so much on the storm that we forget to look toward the rainbow. The truth is, every battle you face today is preparing you for the glory that will soon be revealed in your life. Every struggle, every opposition, every setback is simply a setup for the greatness God is preparing for you. When you are chosen, it's not that battles won't come, they will. But what you need to understand is that no battle is ever bigger than the glory God has set aside for you. The enemy's strategy is to make you think that the pain or struggle you're facing is permanent, that the weight of today will last forever. But what the enemy doesn't understand is that every hardship is a step closer to the manifestation of God's promises. Every attack, every challenge, every season of suffering is part of the process that leads you to your destiny. And when the glory is finally revealed, it will overshadow everything you went through to get there. God is a master at turning battles into blessings. When He allows you to go through trials, it's not because He is punishing you, it's because He is preparing you. He's building your character to carry the glory He is about to reveal. The greatness God has for you isn't just something to experience, it's something you must carry. To carry it, you must first be tested. It's only through battle that you learn to stand, to persevere, to trust, and to hold on when everything feels like it's falling apart. Look at the lives of those who have gone before you in faith. Every one of them faced battles, trials, and intense opposition. Abraham waited decades for the promise of Isaac. Joseph was betrayed and falsely accused, spending years in prison. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading Israel out of Egypt. David was anointed king but spent years running for his life from Saul. Even Jesus, the Son of God, faced the ultimate battle on the cross. But none of these battles were the end of their stories. All of them led to the glory that followed. Abraham became the father of nations. Joseph rose to power in Egypt and saved his family. Moses led Israel into the promised land. David became one of Israel's greatest kings. And Jesus, after his death, was resurrected and glorified, and his name is still praised today. In every case, the glory that followed the battle was far greater than the battle itself. And the same is true for you. The battle you're facing right now is not the end of your story. It's simply the preparation for the glory that's about to unfold. God never allows a battle without a victory greater than the fight. The fight is temporary, but the glory is eternal. The struggle is for a season, but the reward is forever. Here's the key. You must endure the battle with the understanding that it is not in vain. You cannot let pain and obstacles make you lose sight of the victory. Keep your eyes on the prize. Keep moving forward with faith, knowing that what you're going through today is part of the process that will bring you to a place of greater anointing, greater influence, and greater blessing. It's in those moments of trial that your faith is strengthened, your resilience is built, and your trust in God becomes unshakable. The glory you will experience on the other side of the battle will be far greater than anything you can imagine during the fight. I understand that sometimes it feels like the battles are too much to handle. There are moments when you feel overwhelmed, discouraged, and ready to give up, but I want to remind you that you are stronger than you think. God has already equipped you for this battle. He has already given you everything you need to overcome. He is not leaving you to fight alone. He is right there with you every step of the way. His strength is made perfect in your weakness. When you are at your lowest, that is when His power can shine the brightest. The glory that is about to be revealed in your life is a direct result of the battles you fought and the strength you've gained through the process. It's easy to think that the battle defines you, that the struggle is the final chapter. But the battle is not the end. It's the preparation for the glory. It's the refining process that makes you ready for your destiny. It's the testing ground that proves you are worthy of your calling. God doesn't allow battles to break you. He allows them to build you. He doesn't bring challenges to destroy your faith. He brings them to deepen it. And in the end, when the glory is revealed, you will realize that every moment of struggle was worth it. So when you find yourself in the middle of a battle, don't focus on the pain. Don't focus on the difficulty. Focus on the glory that's to come. Keep your eyes on the bigger picture. Keep your heart anchored in the promise that God has already made. The glory will always outweigh the battle. What you're facing today is nothing compared to what God is about to do in your life. Every test, every trial, every obstacle is simply the prelude to the glory that is waiting for you. It's time to rise above the battle and look ahead to the victory. The glory is greater than the battle, and the battle is just the beginning of what God is about to do in your life. As you stand on the threshold of your destiny, remember this: the battles you face are not the end, they are the stepping stones to your greatness. Every challenge, every trial, every moment of hardship is part of God's divine plan to refine, shape, and prepare you for the glory that is to come. You are not walking this journey alone. The one who has called you is walking beside you, equipping you, and orchestrating everything according to His perfect will. You may not always understand why you're going through what you're going through, but know this: what looks like opposition is simply proof that you are chosen. And as you rise above each battle, you will find that the glory that awaits you is far greater than anything you could have imagined. It is in your obedience, your faith, and your perseverance that God's plan will come to fruition. So take heart and hold firm to the promise that God is working behind the scenes. Your breakthrough is near. Your victory is certain. The glory ahead of you is more powerful, more profound, and more magnificent than any battle you are facing right now. You are not waiting on God. He is waiting on you. How am I to know? You are waiting on God. He is waiting on you. Step into your purpose. Trust His timing, and when you stand in the fullness of His glory, you will know that every step of this journey was worth it. The glory is always greater than the battle. And you, chosen one, are about to step into the greatness that was always meant for you. Keep going, because your victory is just ahead.